I believe in Elon Musk so much that I've written two books about him. In fact, the first one, people have called it Fawning, where I point out 16 places, 16 skill sets, 16 ways in which he's king of the hill with regard to certain aspects of how to run and manage, start, manage companies. However, I'm just going to pick a bone today. I'm just going to pick one bone. Most of my career, I've been a sales and marketing manager. First of all, working for an importer that was over 50 years ago. And then for the next 50 years, I ran my own companies. And almost always, I had the role of sales and marketing manager. In particular, I'm talking about right now, sales manager. But marketing plays into it. Elon, there cannot be an excuse from your sales and marketing department, whoever those people are. There is no excuse to only grow the car business by 100 or 200,000 vehicles this year. That's what I will be going and talking to my folks about. I'll be saying, what are you kidding me? We're only going to go from 1.8 to 1.9 or 2 million vehicles this year. We have plenty of capacity. I've given you the factories. You've got all the factories you need. Why would you only go up a couple of 100,000 units this year? Don't give me any excuses about the economy. Don't give me any excuses about the cost of the interest rates, because that's what salesmen do. Salesmen give you excuses. I've heard them all. There's an excuse for every week. There's an excuse for every month. You can always find some reason why you didn't hit your quota. Well, Elon, it's time to get those guys together. Let's have a conversation with them and let's find a way. Let's find new markets. Let's find new, when I say markets, I'm not talking about just opening up in Chile or opening up in Thailand or opening up in different countries. I'm also talking about opening up new categories. Or how about going back and recapturing old categories? Let's go back and win that business back from Hertz. And then let's add about 5 or 6 other major national rental car companies. Let's go find the government contracts. There's millions and millions of cars sold every year to governments just in the United States, much less around the world. These governments should all be buying Teslas, because why? Because they claim, at least, that they care about the environment and they care about sustainability. So why wouldn't they be buying Teslas at this point? Find a way in the door. Let's go back to Hertz for a minute. Let's use it as an example. Why did Hertz say, sorry, guys, we're gonna cut back on our plan? They said it was because they lost money on the resales. How do you overcome that one? You go back and you say, well, we're not going to let that happen again. First of all, we were in a very unique situation with regard to the boom bust situation, and that was what caused the resale problem that you had. You happened to buy high and then you had to sell low. That's not really Tesla's fault. It really has nothing to do with our overall plan. It had to do with an odd economy. So this is not going to happen to you in the future, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to give you a contractual, we're going to protect you. We're going to work something out. You do this with your suppliers, Tesla, every single day. You and your suppliers, whether it's lithium, whether it's batteries, whatever, you have a contract that says, oh, if the prices go crazy one way or the other, we're going to protect one another against those kinds of things in some way. So you go to Hertz, you go to Avis, you go to any of these guys that have stopped doing business with you, and you say, we're going to protect you in some way. Number two, they said, oh, there was problems because people didn't know how to operate the vehicle. There was more accidents because of that. You've got an entertainment system. You've got an entire computer sitting in the car that can help people to understand how to operate the vehicle if they're newbies. It shouldn't be that hard for your guys to put that together like overnight and go back and show them how clever it is and how great it works. That'd be an easy solution. I'm sure you've thought of it, but how come it hasn't happened yet? And then the third reason has something to do with repairs and the cost of repairs. Again, protect them. This was also part of the boom bust and part of the odd situation with COVID and what happened after COVID. That's part of what caused these issues. Okay, work out something. How can you help them to be protected against this happening in the future? This is not rocket science. Oh yeah, you guys understand rocket science. Well, okay, so anyway, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Go to the governments and hey, when I've dealt with governments, and I've sold the U.S. Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, I've sold the U.S. government, I've sold state governments, I've sold city governments, I've sold all of them. You got to get inside there. You got to have the guy. Usually you need to have the guy, you know, the guy who's been working with them forever and ever and ever, and who's looking for one more company to represent. Probably do it in the case of cars, maybe for even a half or 1%. And he goes in there and he knows where the bodies are buried. He knows how to write the specs. In fact, we used to get the specs rewritten. I'm sure that you guys are clever enough to get that done. We got them rewritten, so the competition couldn't even get in because our product was so much better. And they say, well, we always want to have this particular item on that spec. And I'm talking about bicycle water bottles. On automobiles, you've got it wrapped. You've got so many different benefits. Anyway, I could go on like this for, probably an hour or two. All I'm saying, Elon, is this is the time. Get that sales and marketing department, get them in there and say, no excuses. We've got the ability to make 500,000 Model Ys in Austin. We've got the ability to make 500,000 Model Ys in Berlin. Go sell those cars. No more excuses. This is Randy Kirk. Would you please, I'm only asking you to do one thing, just one thing. Would you please repost this? Just repost it. And best would be if you repost with a quote. That'd be great. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much. And it has been great talking to you.